Hi, I'm Pete Chasar. I'm a longtime member of the Pelican Bay Arts Association. And I'm here today to do what probably is the first and hopefully maybe the last of an on-live interview with one of our featured artists. And with me today, in addition to Christina Olsen, who is the featured artist,
Hello.
is Rachel Gates, who is our gallery coordinator. And you'll notice that we are not wearing masks, and we are, though, doing the social distancing. And I don't know why they call it social. Actually, it's antisocial, because you're so far away. That's antisocial. So somebody named that wrong. Anyway, featured artist Christina Olsen. And before I get into the kind of informal questions that I'll ask, and by the way, you will probably hear questions from the background too, and that'll be Rachel asking questions. If I flub my part of it, she's going to take over and she's going to fill in for me. So here we go. Christina,
Yes.
I'm taking this out of context from your bio, and I thought it was really well stated, and so I just want to read it as an introduction.
Okay.
This is a quote from Christina. I cannot remember a time when I wasn't creating something. I paint with acrylics and watercolors primarily. I paint on fabric, canvas, wood, pottery, walls, and accidentally and frequently upon myself.
And my clothing.
Well,
And
okay.
Occasionally my dog has surprise eyebrows too,
Oh.
because his head's on my leg when I'm painting.
And I have one more sentence.
Okay.
I just love to paint. My only rule is to have fun with it and to be a joyful celebrant of color.
That is correct.
And if you look at the wall behind us, you can see what a joyful celebrant of color Christina is. And I would add that she has got a quite unique style, and I think that goes without saying. By the way, Christina, is that something you designed that you're wearing? Because it looks like it could be your artwork.
Well, I'm a spokesmodel for the lovely Rachel Gates. This is one of her pieces based on one of her paintings. Rachel's in the background, big fan. And this is a shirt that I spilled on, so then I painted on it. And that's the story.
Sure. Now, to go back a little bit into your childhood, you were raised in Pescadero, California,
Yes, I was.
on a farm with animals and the whole farm shtick.
We had lambs and a pony that was kind of a terrorist, and several dogs.
Okay. How do you think, if you think it did, that affected your artwork or your approach to art? The fact that you grew up in this, semi-wild kind of environment, and wide open spaces and all that good stuff, farmyard smells.
It was rather idyllic, actually, and we didn't have TV, so we had to act out in other ways instead of just getting all glazed over. So yeah, we painted, drew, built forts out of poison oak, and all those healthy kind of feral childhood occupations.
A couple of other things from your distant background is that you mentioned that your parents were so different in their philosophies or their overall approaches to things. Like your father's side were business people. Your father was a butcher,
Yes.
am I correct?
Yeah, he had a deli.
And your mom's side was artistic and studious, and so that's kind of an interesting combination. Again, do we see any of this in your art, or is it,
Yeah, my dad's side were the joyful, crazy Scandinavians. We'd get together and they'd have a few drinks and it'd get louder and louder and more hilarious all the time. And one of our family rules on my dad's side was no matter how bad things get, if you could laugh, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So that was the gift on my dad's side. My mother's side, there was a lot of focus on education, speaking articulately, having manners. There were a lot of teachers and different sorts of religious type people, and they were lovely people. They are lovely people, but my dad's side had my heart because they were just joyful. They were just really fun people. So,
And
yeah.
articulate speaking, we can see that it worked.
Well, on a good day, when I've had protein to eat, yeah.
The other thing I found interesting is the fact that you were trained and worked initially not in fine arts, but in drafting.
Yes.
Listen, this is one of the issues you have with
Hi.
working in a location like
Yeah,
this.
it's great.
I'm looking for Mary Jane.
She's in the